Halal investing has become increasingly popular over the last years, and not just from the Islamic community. But investing under Islamic principles is not that easy here in Germany. Or is it? It is! And we'll show you the best halal investment options in Germany in this Perfinex investing video. To bring everyone on board, let's start by clarifying what halal investing is and what it is not. If you would translate the term halal from Arabic to English, it would mean permissible. Permissible by Islamic law. And that allows us to clear the first misconception, because halal investing might sound like it's only for Muslims, but it's not. I'm not a Muslim myself, so feel free to correct me in the comments. But to me, halal investing is an ethical principle that is very similar to SRI, social responsibility investing, or ESG, investing in line with the environment, social, and governance. So you don't invest in the oil industry, gambling, alcohol, or tobacco, for example. And even though these investment principles do not offer a better return than standard portfolios, the market share of sustainable investments keeps increasing and increasing. The halal investing principle that is probably the best known is riba, which stands for something like interest, if you would translate it to English. And interest is prohibited under Sharia principles. This might sound bad because you cannot get one of the standard high-yield savings accounts that give you almost 6% return these days, but of course there's a workaround. If you want one of these savings accounts, the link to our website is in the description. If you want to invest halal without receiving interest, it is still possible with certain Islamic banks. These banks invest the money, very safe, and halal of course, and share the profits with their customers. And profit sharing is not interest, so it's allowed. And this is just the first of many workarounds we'll come to in a moment when it comes to other investments, like real estate for example. And that answers the question that we get in meetings every once in a while from you guys, that there's apparently no good halal investment option here in Germany. Absolutely not true. The standard financial products may not be compliant with Sharia principle, okay, but there's almost always a halal workaround that works very similar. And after the interview I shot with tax advisor Dirk last week, you should think twice before you send money outside of Germany to invest it there. A lot of you guys watching will be a lot better off investing your money here in Germany than back in your home country. And what I absolutely love about halal investing is maizir in Arabic, or gambling translated to English. This is where all of us, Muslim or not, can learn something if we want to invest successfully. Here is an absolutely awesome pyramid from Trade Society, which I think summarizes this the best. Everybody wants to get rich all the time, and rich quick, without doing anything, right? That's where social media comes into the picture with shady dudes telling you to day trade random stocks or crypto or whatever else. 40% of people that fall for that quit after the first month. 80% quit within the first 2 years, and only 7% make it through 5 years. And that doesn't mean that these 7% are profitable, right? Because if you gamble invest and make 5% return per year, congrats to you. But if the market made 10%, you still lost. And that's why only 1% of traders are estimated to trade profitably. So stop maizir and invest halal. And how do you do that? Here's how. We already talked about the first investment option that is really good for the short term. For your emergency fund, your next vacation, anything you'd like to buy in the next 1 or 2 years. Profit share accounts. Because they don't pay an interest rate, they are halal. Speaking about profit share, for the last 2 years, we give you guys the chance to invest in real estate easier than ever before, and much shorter than ever with our real estate security tokens. And since many of you guys asked for an investment without any interest, because that wouldn't be halal, we launched our very first investment with 0% interest and 50% profit share earlier this year. It's a property development close to Munich, where we are, that you can read more about on germanreal.estate. Link is in the description. Next up on the list is Sukuk. Sukuk? Probably not, because That would be the sausage. Contrary to standard bonds that pay an interest rate, Sukuk are Islamic bonds that don't pay an interest rate. Of course. So it's again like the profit share account, a workaround so bonds are compliant with Sharia principles. The investments would probably the least amount of speculation behind it, which would be the least maisir and the most halal, are precious metals like gold or silver. Both generally safe investments which will probably never go to zero, with a surprisingly good return over the last years and decades as well. Now the question is, how should you invest in precious metals exactly? That's what we've answered in this video, because a gold ETF is pretty bad from a tax perspective compared to buying gold physically. From the investment with the least amount of risk to the investment with the highest amount of risk. Cryptos. I know, everything will go to the moon and all crypto investors will get filthy rich because of the Bitcoin ETFs, blah blah blah. We mention cryptos here because it can be a viable investment option if you invest only a small portion of your portfolio, whatever you can afford to lose. But if you really want to invest halal, cryptos might not be the best. There's usually lots of speculation involved, massive uncertainty, and many cryptos are used for haram activities by criminals. Not halal in the way I understand it, with the years and years of research that we did for this video. There are probably more halal investment options than anywhere else. We talked about it in the beginning of the video with ESG and SRI investing, ETFs and mutual funds. Of course you can invest in single stocks as well, but a recent study from the Arizona State University found out that over the last 90 years, 96% of stocks had a worse return than 1-month treasury bills, which is like savings account level of return with risk added on top. So actually worse than savings accounts. Now you can ask yourself, how likely is it, or how confident are you in your investment abilities, that you will find the 4% of stocks that are better than treasury bills? Pretty unlikely for you, me, and everyone watching, if you ask me. Most of us will be better off by diversifying and buying the entire market with mutual funds and ETFs, exchange traded funds. Now the question is, how do you buy your ETFs or your mutual funds? If you want to invest for the midterm, an investment account in a brokerage is just fine. But if you want to invest for the long term, putting your ETFs in a pension will be better than putting your ETFs in an investment account. Why? Because you can get tens of thousands of euros of tax benefits every single year with the right type of pension. Check out this video for more details. And last but certainly not least, the king of all investments, real estate. Why is it the king of all investments? Because it allows you to leverage with a mortgage from a bank, which brings your return on investment through the roof. And yes, that's also possible with special halal mortgages. We'll come to that in a moment. First, let me tell you that it's not given that you get rich with real estate. There's plenty of people who get financially ruined because they don't know what they're doing. So the most important of all is that you buy the right property for your personal financial situation. And that means you can forget almost all properties that you find on public websites. Here's a property one of our clients just bought. He invested a little less than 29,000 euros of his own money for the closing costs and the furniture and get a 100% mortgage from the bank. That's the best case scenario for real estate investors. And you can see why in the return on equity of over 20% per year. 20%! And just to make sure we're on the same page here, he doesn't get 20% rent and the property will not rise by 20% in value, but his return on equity is so high because he invested very little of his own money and get a large mortgage from the bank. So if you would like to explore that investment opportunity for you as well, feel free to book a free meeting with us right here. Now, how does real estate investing work under Islamic principles? Again, same but different with a workaround. Because a standard mortgage wouldn't be halal, at least not for an investment property. There are a couple of different halal mortgages though. The details are a little different, but generally speaking, they all work the same way. Either the bank buys the property for you and kind of leases it back to you. So you make a fixed payment per month for a fixed amount of time, and after that, the property is yours. Kind of like a standard mortgage, but without interest because you lease your real estate investment. And the other halal mortgage is that you and the bank buy the property together. And with every monthly payment you make, you buy more and more from the part that the bank owns until the property is fully yours. And that concludes our list of halal investment options in Germany. Hopefully we understood everything correct. We did the best research we could, but none of us are Muslims. So feel free to correct us in the comments. And I see you in the next video.